So in this video, I'd like to show you a very simple outcome tool that I've developed to be able to assist you to measure the effectiveness of the treatment that you're using with the 3D energy gun. Obviously, you can adapt this and use this to any treatment that you're using on anybody, but I've designed this specifically with the goals of having people share the outcomes that they're having with the 3D energy gun. So I'm not going to talk about the relevance or the importance of a pain outcome tool, but this is a pain-based outcome tool. So obviously there are many, many outcomes you could be measuring in your clinic, your practice, your lifestyle. So this one is based on pain, but it's trying to give you a more holistic coverage of people's pain and discomfort. Obviously, when people first come and see you, sometimes they'll say, "Oh, I'm sore here." But when you ask more questions, you'll find that they're sore in a number of places and have been for a long period of time. So this is a tool that helps you to actually score someone's holistic or more global pain and suffering. So basically, it's a self-rated tool. So you want to have your patient or your practice member fill this tool out. So obviously we have a date for when they're filling this out. So there's two criteria first. First is for a localized pain. You just want them to put crosses on their body. It could be on the front or on the back of their body. So for every pain that they have that's localized, try to get them to mark that with a cross. If any of their problems are larger than a localized area, so they're more of a region, then try to get them to draw a boundary of that pain or that discomfort. So you want them to score and rate and draw for each problem that they have anywhere on their body. Now, the next thing that you want to do is you want to get a score out of 10, obviously 10 being the worst possible pain. You don't need them to score zeros because the zeros would be all over the body. So 1 would just be a small localized pain. So as I said, you want to give each mark that they've made on the body, they need to give each one of those a score from 0 to 10. So the next thing is that you obviously want them to reproduce using that tool in the future. So it's up to you, but usually we recommend after 6 visits and then after 12 visits, 12 treatments, that they should redo the tool again. They should remark the drawings. The other thing I recommend is you do get the people to fill out this consent form, is it ends up in the future that you'd actually want to write your own case study, or you want to collate the results from your own practice, or if you want to share these outcomes with myself so that I can come up with more of a compiled outcome database, then you do need to have consent. So just basically they're signing that they are giving you permission to use the information, and just notifying them that any identifying information will be removed so that they won't be identifiable on any of the publications. So get them to sign that and date it. So here's our instructions. So as I said, it's a self-reported pain tool. So you've got 3 options when it comes to getting someone to fill it out. You can give them the form and basically allow them to try and work out how to fill it out themselves. You could sit down with them and coach them and guide them to complete the form, or you may have a staff member that you can delegate and train to be able to do this with your practice members or your patients. So obviously complete this form before you start any treatment, and then the second time should be completed on visit 7. So that's after the 6 treatments. And then again on visit 13, so after they've had 12 treatments. So the way to calculate the pain score, so there's going to be a total number of painful locations. There's going to be a total score for the severity of all of the points. And then there's going to be a rating for the size of the point. So 1 point for each cross. A 2 would be an area that appears to be just a single joint or perhaps a single muscle. Score of 3. So the pain is actually extending outside of this sort of localized joint or muscle boundary. And then 4 would be an entire body segment. So an upper arm, a thigh, a calf, one side of the neck or the thoracic or lower back spine. And then a 5 would be an entire region. So a whole arm, a whole leg, all of their neck, all of their lower back, all of their pelvis. So you can come up with a rating for each one of those. So you've got 3 scores that add together. So for example, here we have date 1. How many points of pain did they have? What is the score total that you're giving for all of the area of the pain? The severity, adding up all the severity scores, and then adding all of those numbers up to come up with an actual pain score. So then in the future, you can go back and compare your results over time. So then if you want to, you can then start to collate multiple patients. So an identifier, you could have a case number, you could have an initial. It's preferably something that doesn't identify that particular person so that you can go back and connect this information to them, but nobody else can connect this information to who that person may have been. So we're obviously having before scores, after scores, and then putting in the number of visits that pre and post represents. So as I said, I'm hoping that you'll enjoy using this. As I said, I'm hoping that you'll collate these results, you'll send these results through to me so that they can all be put together to come up with hopefully some research and some publication in the future.